actually about 3 minutes past 4, so we're calling the meeting, February the 12th, meeting to order, please. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord God, we thank you so much that we can come together, that we can come together, God, to discuss the things that are going on in our city, in our county, in our area. God, just be with each one of us, and God, may we realize that we represent different people and different ideas, but we all come together at the end. Be with us through this meeting, keep us close to you. In your precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Thank you. Also, we need to approve the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Wanda, you got a copy of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, likewise. And thank you. You will handle that now, please. All right. You will tell us what happened at the commissioners' board meeting.
Sure. Okay, we have a couple of items on the agenda for discussion. I wanted to provide an update along with any other commission members that participated in the event we had back on the 28th. That's when the Rocky Mountain Commission hosted the State Commissioners quarterly meeting here in Rocky Mount on that Tuesday from 9:30 to 1. And so I see we have two members here at that meeting. And I will open the floor and let them make some comments before I conclude on that subject. Any follow-up?
It was very nice, very well organized. Our Human Relations Commission did a very good job in hosting the other commissioners from around the state that came, as well as those members who are the state commission. We had a lot of people that came into the event center, and a lot of people when they left were very impressed, and were talking about even having some of their other events with their other groups that they are part of there at our facility. So it was a good event, very well attended. Got an opportunity to get a lot of information from people around the state about the different issues that they deal with their own commissions. And a lot of those issues are the same issues, but got a lot of good ideas about how to deal with some things. And so it was very well attended and very well hosted.
I know we several years ago, we had it again, and I was able to attend to that one. And there are always people so impressed at how friendly and nice the people in Rocky Mount are, and how you go out of the way to make them feel welcome. And I can tell you, I went to one where I went 2 or 3 times. It's not that everywhere you go.
No, everybody was talking about our food too, and how we fed them. I mean, we went all the way out. That's why we got water here today, because we went all the way out.
They'll
Just
come
play,
back
but
to see, right?
it was really good. It was real nice.
Good.
Really
We know that y'all do a good job, and it's gonna tell y'all, but
I attended the meeting myself, and it was my first time, and it was really very impressive. And the people, your leaders in other cities, and the leaders up in the main office, they were, shared a lot of information, and it was helpful. And it gave me hope, you know what I say. So looking forward into being here and then making an impact.
Appreciate it.
your impression.
Well, again, thank for everyone that attended. I was very, very pleased with that meeting. One thing that we have worked on for a while, and something that I would instill in me early on in human relations, is that the connection, the camaraderie, and the relationship we have with the other departments and commissions across the state, that we all work together, we are a whole lot stronger as opposed to trying to do things separately. Even though each city and community have their own individual issues, a lot of us as LSF, pretty much the same. And so we've been able to build that strength and build that relationship over the years. The state office, probably about 3 years ago, was moved from one government office to another one. It was moved out of the Department of Administrative Hearing, Department of Administration, now it's in the Department of Administrative Hearing. So that was something new to them, but we worked, I think we'll kind of build it back up to what it was, what the commission was years ago. And hopefully we will continue to learn from each other, but also, most of all, share some support and assistance to those volunteer commissions across the state that do not have a staff.
Okay, you wanna go over the participant or tornado meeting?
I included, as a follow-up from the previous meeting, it was requested that we give a report, a sheriff report that I forwarded to the city manager's office about the last community meeting we had with the Hispanic residents, trying to address their concerns. So that was included in your packet. But I also want to just say that we will continue that. We will identify and work along with Carlos, neighborhoods and communities, that we will continue to go out and work and try to address the concerns of the Latino community, just like every other sector in our city. And we'll talk about that probably the fourth item, but also currently we're working with as far as the 2020 census. And so, and that's something that we're working closely with, that we want to make sure that those unaccounted communities, we have pockets across the city. We want to make sure that those communities and neighborhoods are counted also. So this work will continue. And as we hold those and do those additional meetings, I perceive them to be in a much smaller setting, and I will keep the commission informed, because I would like to invite, as we have those additional meetings, I'd like to invite at least one or two of the commission members to attend also. And I think they will work better, probably in a smaller setting, as we identify some pockets for locations.
Do we know when that first meeting is gonna be, or when it's gonna be?
Not yet, but
Not
as
yet.
soon as we plan it.
Okay.
Yeah. You also have before you a couple of flyers. The next event is sponsored by the MLK Commission, and it's a human relation issue. It's about valuing the diversity of our community. We will have the 2020 International Festival, which is scheduled for March 7th. Again, out at National Community College, from 12 to 4. So staff is in the process of confirming the registration. We are hoping to have just as good, if not a better turnout than what we had last year. Last year was a marvelous turnout. And we'll, hopefully the weather will cooperate and people will come out on the 7th also. If you know of any groups or individuals that may want to have a booth or information table at the festival, please forward their information to us. We still have some time, hopefully, to factor that in and make those accommodations.
If you've never been, you need to go. It is really worth going. You meet some neat people. And I think I like to sit there and watch. I like to sit there and watch the crowd. Last year, me and Boo said a lot of times together, but he's there all the time. But I have made it for the last several years, and it's interesting to watch. I think the main thing is to watch the youth that have come and get involved and see. You know, people talk about the young people. But you go out there that day and see what the young people do. So, you know, maybe it's us old people and not the young people that we need to be talking about. But it's really good if you can go, be sure and go, if only for a couple of hours or a couple of half hours, but I think you would really enjoy it.
So a story I'd like to share is a couple of years ago, I had a young lady that was teaching at one of the local schools, but she was also doing a higher education project for one of the local colleges. And she had to do one of her assignments for her final project was that she had to write on different cultures that was actually in the community. And so, she came out to the International Festival, and then following Monday, she called me and she said, I had no idea our community consisted of people from all over the world. She said, I had no idea that many different ethnic groups that live here in Rocky Mountain. And she was so amazed. You know, and that's a good educational project for everybody, because we're in our own world from day to day, and we pretty much have the same routine. We don't really interject with a lot of people. But when we come out there, we get a chance to really see why people work their stuff. We get an opportunity to see a lot of their native music and dance and the clothes they wear and the food, especially the food is awesome.
And you know, I think they think several years ago, actually Sandwich's heart doctor was out there, got to talk to him, but you'd be surprised the people that come. A lot of the doctors in town that are Hispanic or other nationalities are at that day, and you get to see your doctor walking around as, like we do with normal people, and they're normal too, but you know, sometimes we think they're not, but it's, you can talk to them in a different setting, and it's really nice, y'all do a good job.
Thank you.
And I know you can use some help sitting up there and down.
Yeah, we always like to have volunteers to help us set up on that Friday, and then there's a lot of stuff that goes on during the day on Saturday. And you know, this commission has always supported us for your schedule, and will allow, so I really appreciate that. Any other comments about the festival or questions?
It's a great event, so if you've never attended, be sure to come out. We'd love to have you.
So there's no cost, right?
No
And
cost,
free.
free to the public.
they have plenty of food, if you wanna stand in line and get it. Moose is really good about looking after me, so thank you, Moose. But they fix him a plate, they fix me one.
What can you do?
Some of it I can eat and some I can't, but that's all right.
All right.
Just kidding with you, Moose.
Anyway, as far as the cost, this is the third event that the MLK Commission sponsors, and all the three events are free to the public. And you may remember back in December, we received a letter from the office asking you to donate to the MLK event. And so we were lucky enough to get donations from the community and from local churches, and a couple of large sponsors like PNC and Commons, Southern Bank, Rocky Mountain Mills, and Nest Healthcare System, and that we are able to sponsor these three events, no cost to anybody. And actually, the only cost the city has is staff, so everything's pretty much paid for by sponsorship and
That's
donation.
wonderful. It shows the community coming together.
Exactly.
Okay, we will keep going.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Director, next year will you, I probably won't be on the council, but could you make it aware earlier? Cause I wanted to do something, but I didn't get a chance to get over here.
Okay,
Cause I got it kinda late.
gotcha.
But if you do it earlier, I think, you know.
Well, you or not, you will always welcome at this meeting.
Oh, I'll be at the meetings. I'm saying I won't be on the council. Oh, I'm not gonna stop coming to the meetings.
Not at this meeting.
No, I ain't going
I
nowhere.
just wanted you to know that.
Oh, no, I ain't going nowhere.
The other item, we've talked about it several times, we try to repeat as much as possible. And there's some flyers in front of you, the 2020 census. This is a very important event that's happening across the country, but especially for our community, the city of Rocky Mountain and nationally in Edgecombe County. And there's a lot of federal funding based on the results of the census. And so, as we did our research, we found out, looking from the data from previous census, there are segments of our community that are unaccounted. And so much depends on what these counts are. Businesses determine, they use the information about where they gonna open up new locations. You know, banks decide, you know, the housing development, schools, everybody that builds or plans anything, highways, roads, they use sensitive information. So we're really making a big effort to make sure that all our citizens, all our residents are aware of the importance of it, and there's no, try to eliminate the fear from the census. Information is kept confidential. All we want to do is make sure that the city of Rocky Mountain, National Edgecombe County is counted accurately. As I said, schools, And one thing to really touch on here in the city is that, you know, we always are seeking additional funding, excuse me, for housing programs. And funding for housing programs based on census. When it, as I said, when building the schools, new highways, the information comes from the U.S. Census. Before you, there's a flyer about, there are a lot of jobs that the census is still hiring, part-time jobs. They try to hire individuals from the local community, and those jobs, the pay started around over $13 an hour. You know, cloud line. So if you know of anybody that, what's that?
No, he was saying he thought it was a certain, it's different amounts, I think, for different counties.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's different counties.
So if you know anybody that have an interest, got some spare time, want to do some part-time work next couple of months, give them this number here, and they can go online and apply. I know there are several individuals in our community that have already been hired. And one thing they're trying to do, they're trying to hire people or individuals to work in the communities in which they live.
That's good.
Because one thing they notice that when, a lot of times we don't feel comfortable when people come in our community, we opt for who we're familiar with. And if you're not familiar with the community, sometimes you uncomfortable.
You're not gonna answer the door.
There you go. Also, there's another sheet, which is a fact sheet about the census. That's some additional information for you. And I also want to invite you all to tomorrow, a part of the census effort, they have what you call a complete count committee. And those are committees that are formed to help inform the community and increase participation with the count. And they can be committees on the state level, the city, county level, community level, individual neighborhood organization level. There's several different levels. Our neighborhood associations agreed back in November to participate and be a part of the complete count committee. So on tomorrow at 4 o'clock, their meeting will consist of having a U.S. Census representative there to do a workshop. It's going to last about an hour and a half on the importance of a complete count committee and share with them the things that they can do within their individual neighborhood to also help increase the count. I invite you all, if you, I know a couple of you all are working with different organizations, churches and places like that, but I do invite you tomorrow if you have time at 4, come and join us, and hopefully you can find out some additional information regarding the census.
What is it gonna be, Arch?
Tomorrow at 12 o'clock at the
Booker T.
Booker T Theater. Any questions? Teresa, you have something? Any other questions or comments for anybody else that's involved in the projects regarding census?
We are, the East and North Carolina Ministerial Alliance had the census representative for this area come to meet with us, and she talked with us about the complete count committee. So our organization is working as a complete count committee, as well as having all of our members to make sure that their congregations are counted and the communities in which they live are counted. A lot of people might not have internet access and that type of thing to get on, so what we're doing is we're using the churches as a hub where they can come, they can get on the computers, they can put in the census information as well as call in. We're using phone, they're gonna use phone banks too, so we're working in that vein and trying to get as many people registered with the census as possible, so that there won't be a lot of door knocking in the communities, because a lot of times that creates fear, because people haven't gotten the information or don't know about the information that we have here. So we're getting out as much of that information as possible in our communities. And Commissioner V, I would be interested in speaking with you about maybe getting some people to come and help us out that speak Spanish, that speak fluent Spanish to help us. Because we, in some of our communities, we do have Hispanic members of our community. We want to make sure that everybody's counted and they're not intimidated.
And also the cities is really putting forth a great effort to get information out. If you notice, if you watch Channel 19, steps continuously are running on that about the census. The city's website, information is there. City council has been real supportive. We're looking at adding some part-time positions for the next couple of months to help with the community outreach. So this is very important because a good response has a positive effect on the city, and a negative response doesn't. So
I just think so much stuff depends on that count too.
the county,
Grant
right?
money, the money from, as you said, the money from the state, money to come in, help with programs. A lot of it depends on the count.
Exactly right.
It seems like some towns get it all and some gets nothing, so we can,
So you look at the population trend, you know, the center part of the state, the Wake County area, Owens County, Durham County, Johnson, they're growing. And you hear a lot of information about fear that the eastern or western part of the state population is going the opposite direction. So we are hoping that in this area, our population will not show a downward turn, but an upward turn. Yeah, at the point now, any questions, concerns from the commission, anything you want to bring forth for discussion, anything that staff may need to follow up, now's the time to share or ask any questions.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to ask everybody here to be in prayer for Miss Elaine Williams. You all might remember her as a candidate for city council, but she visited our meeting here several times. She had a house fire, and they lost basically everything in that fire, plus she lost a child in that fire. So if you all keep her in your prayers or reach out to her, see what things you might can help. I know my church has decided to get in and find out what things they need and just provide support.
Thanks for sharing that.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Director, I had asked about a report from the city council about our thing we did with the Confederate monument.
Okay.
And I haven't received anything. I did ask about it the other night. So I still want to see a report coming back, what they're going to do, because this board was commissioned to do a series of meetings, so we need some input. And just because I'm asking for the input doesn't mean they're going to keep it up or take it down.
Exactly.
We was commissioned to do a thing, and we did that. So again, I have a problem when we see this stuff in the newspaper, and I see they're supposed to attack the meeting tomorrow where you have about Battle Park doing something in the lobby of the Imperial Center because I brought it up. So we need to make people understand that we did what we was commissioned to
did
do.
our job.
Right.
Not doing theirs.
And whether they take it down, keep it up, that's on them, not this council.
Exactly.
You know, and plus we hired, they hired someone to come in. So you done pay somebody to come in and do it. Then you need to give the people a response.
Need to get you
I think that's just fair, right? So when you see all this negativity and I was reading when you had in here about something to the effect of the miscommunication about fire and stuff with the Latinos, well, we need to do some communication with these kinds of things because those people are keeping mess stirred up amongst the council and relations, and they make it look like it's the council and this commission, but we're just doing our job.
Exactly.
And people need we need to send a message to them that no, you're the one stirring it up, not us. People got the right to do it. Right. And it's not up to this council, this commission, to give the final verdict.
Well, I found out that worst enemy on anything.
Well, I mean, yeah, but,
About half of what they put in there is true.
well, it ain't really the newspaper, it's those little social media sites
That's wrong.
and the comments that being put in the newspaper. Because it ain't the newspaper that made a comment about they gonna have meetings in the lobby of the Imperial Center. And, you know, you're there to do a series of meetings about, making Battle Park look good. And then you're gonna come there and try to bombard the meeting. To me, that's just, you're the one stirring up mess. I wish the paper were here today and maybe they'll look at my page and see it. But that's the kind of stuff that they'll keep us stirred up.
And I guess, you know, during the time in which we did have those meetings in the community, that would have been the chance we did have, people who came and we used the feedback they had. The other thing, not to get that, this election time, and a lot of people may not realize it, but election, early voting and election, is going on. We do have some important seats, that folks are running for as well.
I'll tell y'all, you need to vote. This is one of the most important times in our history. We need to vote.
Anytime elections here, you need to vote. Everyone. Everyone is important.
Like it's getting a little bit more and more.
It is.
But it's just, I guess it's just us a bit.
And we'll comment on something what Mr. Dancy said, that there was some concern or comments made that some residents thought that the meetings involving the Battle Park master plan had something to do with the preserving monument. Two separate things. That meeting is just for the park itself, and they are soliciting community feedback. Matter of fact, a lot of our neighborhood representatives will be a part of that meeting. Some of you all may have been contacted also. So that was a misconception out there. I think the last, most recent article in the paper did state that, saying that the meeting was for the master plan of Battle Park and not the statue. So hopefully that's cleared up. And the last thing is that we haven't received, and the city council hadn't had anything to report back to the commission based on their last meeting. So as soon as if they receive something, and of course, I will forward it on, so there's been no decision there whatsoever. But if you look at what has happened around the state and other locations about the turmoil, and even if the statue itself was torn down, a lot of things happened in the discourse among the community. And hopefully we can set an example that we had those conversations. Everybody had a chance to share their input and their concern.
Correct.
And so it wasn't like anybody was shit out. And so far, there's been no marches here. The issue's still unsettled. Whenever the powers to be get the headway of what to do, I'm pretty sure a decision will be made. But at any point, any rate, the community was given an opportunity to have comments and feedback. We took that information, it was put in a report. So I feel very good about that project.
I thought the meetings were real good when we had them also. We were a very diverse group, a very diverse answer sometimes, but at the end, we all came together. We all wanted what's right for the city. And that's what it's all about.
That's it.
Also, we have a new school superintendent. and,
Nobody else got any concerns.
We have a new school superintendent. And so that is, I don't know, Malcolm and some of the people I'm talking about, had some concerns about it. Of course, school splits coming up and all that kind of stuff. So let us be aware of that and those conversations that are going on in our community, get people involved and going to the school board meetings and participating. I hate for people to be reactive, I'd rather for people to be proactive. But the only way to do that is to make sure that you're at the forefront of everything that goes on and you see it as it's coming or as it's happening. So,
You know, the most important asset we got is our children.
that's right.
You got to educate them.
Yeah, that
And
is.
if we as parents don't care and don't know show interest, they will do whatever they want to.
That's correct.
I picked up a little piece of information today concerning schools. I was going to try to ask somebody, see our esteemed school board member is here. I'm wondering if you could shed some light on it, that the plan in the very near future to have the current schools, city schools that are on the Edgecombe County side of Rocky Mount to become a part of the Edgecombe County school system. Is that something that is,
There's some legislation,
okay?
action and no, and probably our commissioner could talk more on that exactly because they're the ones that driving the process. But, that's a legislation thing that came out with the, when they merged Nash and Rocky Mount City Schools. So there has been conversation regarding that, but that's in the hands of the county commissioner for both Edgecombe and Nash County.
Speaking for this county commissioner, those children in that Edgecombe side of Rocky Mount belong to the Nash Rocky Mount school system, is the way I feel, because they didn't choose that, and that's the way the system was set up. And I think we got more important things to be worried about, and more important battles to fight than worrying about if this child's going to get on the school bus and go to Southwest, or if he's going to North, the Nash Rocky Mount. You know, the main thing we gotta do is make sure they get a quality education. That's the bottom line. And as far as this county commissioner, she's happy with them children staying where they are. And I think right now, I would say I would, you gotta realize probably as there's something up in the far side of Edgecombe County, we got something up in the far side of Nash County that don't think Rocky Mount belongs to the county. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we gotta make them realize it's all of us. We voted on it, we built the school, we built it with the understanding that those children were gonna go into that school system. As far as I'm concerned, they're in it.
Excuse me, could I ask a question? The Edgecombe County pay Nash County taxes? Paying the taxes over there?
You know, the Edgecombe County, are you referring to the students?
No. Yeah,
Edgecombe County pays Nash County for those students that's in the Edgecombe side of Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount, up until this year, paid a certain amount every year for those students that were in Rocky Mount. As of last year, the city of Rocky Mount pays no more money, but Edgecombe County still pays so much per, whatever Nash County pays per student, Edgecombe County has to pay for those students to Nash County.
and we spend our money in Nash County
Yeah, so
also.
it's,
It's tax based.
so they're not, we're not giving them anything because they're paying for it.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
When they say
what
we're
is the
giving it to
problem?
you, we're not giving it to you.
What is the problem? Just a racial problem?
Well, I don't think it's much racial, we got some county commission.
Well, they're gonna have some kind of commissioner meetings, and that's what I was gonna say.
We
And-
got some people here, we got some people here.
Yeah, I need to show up.
Yeah, you know, I still don't see what the problem is.
See, I don't,
So we're jumping over the problem. The problem
I don't see a
is they're
problem
being
with it.
racist.
see,
When
my
they want
problem
them
is-
loud.
I don't think when we get to heaven, the Lord's gonna get to the front door and say, well, you this color, you this color. That ain't the way our Lord looks at it, so that ain't the way I look at it.
We ain't the Lord.
Well, I mean, as long as everybody's paying their way.
They paying the money, so we're not giving them anything.
I just don't know why we have a controversy about that
Now, you would have
in
some
this,
commissioners that
in this
would
town.
tell me that I'm wrong, that we're having to do so, but we gotta do it for all schools, it's not just for them students.
I agree.
It sounds like we need to
But
make
sometimes the
some
mindset
Yeah,
of
go
Rocky
to-
Mount's not a part of
Yeah,
Nash
but-
County.
meetings, yeah.
Let me just say this too, is, just to defer this, the Nash Rocky Mountain School Board does not determine where that falls. That's between Edgecombe County Commissioners and the Nash County Commissioners. There's also legislation and law, so it's not just them only, but it's also in your legislation. So the meetings that makes those decisions is at the Nash County Commissioners Board and the Edgecombe County Commissioners Board. One of the things that's gonna happen in the near future, you'll see the Nash Rocky Mount Public School System will be renamed
That's right, I saw that
to
too.
Nash County.
That was in the
That was
legislation,
in the legislation. So,
as of July.
I just wanna clarify, that's not Nash Rocky Mount School System that's doing that, that's legislation along, and who's pushing the legislation to do that.
But who pushed the legislature to do that?
So,
That's the point
Recently,
I'm
some
making.
elected officials.
Somebody's behind it.
Certain elected officials.
Yeah,
Some,
Who's
some
behind
level,
it?
The county
House level
commissioners
commissioner,
determine where
representative
that
did
goes.
Right.
So what has not been
Jeff
done
Collins,
recently,
one of them.
there's not enough voice that whenever the county commissioners have their meetings,
Okay, when's the next meeting?
there's your county commission.
You know, we have to also make sure, I know,
It's the
what
first,
was-
well,
I
it'll
hear
be
what's
the
being
first
said about,
Thursday in March.
I hear what's being said about county commissioners, but we also have to
School board.
make school board meeting, because the school board,
And it's
they are,
both sides,
they are
so they
elected
just-
officials also.
That's right.
And as elected officials, they need to in my opinion, this is my opinion,
I would love to
they
hear
need
them
to
how
speak out a little
you
bit louder and more, being elected officials, and stop letting certain other elected officials dictate the
I
things
just
they
don't
should
think y'all
and
be
shouldn't
playing
do.
with children's
How
lives.
far they?
I mean, to me, that's,
Again, talking about those meetings, Edgecombe County Commissioners, when I was at the meeting last week, will be meeting with Edgecombe, they do it every year, they meet with the Edgecombe County School Board. They also gonna have a meeting with Nash County Commission. So again, you need to make those meetings, we can't do it here. You gotta make those meetings and make sure people go.
and you know the thing about it, if you
That's where
don't
the
talk,
answer lies.
if people don't talk to you, you don't know they think you're happy with what you're doing.
That's great,
I mean,
you know, and we have to realize that the commissioners, these commissioners are
It's
really
funny.
funders. They're funders, but the school board is there to look after the welfare of these children. If the funder doesn't want to put the money into the system to educate the kids, then I have a problem with the funder. I don't have a problem with the school board, I got a problem with the
You
funder.
know, this is our money, it's the taxpayers' money.
Right, but it's the
not-
taxpayers'
it's not-
children, it's the
not
taxpayers'
the
children also.
commissioners' money. It's the taxpayers' money.
Dog out there.
Well, I think he summed it up. We know where the problem is, and we can't fix it. We know what the bottom line is. It is racial. We know that, and they just started now. I mean, we used to meet over in the building right beside the library about this stuff. Edgecombe and Nash County Commission, I took off work and went and videoed the meeting. It ain't just started.
No, it's
You
been
just need to
going
go to those meetings. You need to go to your county commissioner meetings,
That's
school
been
board
going
meetings.
on a lot longer.
That's what you need to do.
They've been pushing it for years.
Right.
I just
Say
heard a
nothing.
comment about the funding. You can't teach children without funding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay? Thanks for that feedback. Any other issue, anything else? Question or concern?
And Bill, we're glad to have you back today.
As far as announcements, the only announcement I have is about the International Festival. Anything else going on in the community about small one?
Don't forget about the display at the Imperial Center concerning the baseball, Negro Baseball League.
Okay.
That's gonna be going on. I'm not sure the deadline, but if you didn't get a chance to attend last week, it will be on display at the Imperial Center about the impact.
Thank you.
that it
Is this
plays.
something tomorrow?
They had it last week, but it is still on display.
Okay, it's still on.
Yeah, you can go on, here and see it.
Yes, sir, Mr. Shaw.
I just want to piggyback on what Mrs. Commissioner Smith said earlier. We do have a new superintendent. He's open to communicate. He's got a public forum. I'll make sure that information is publicized so you guys will know when it is. His first day on the job will be the 1st of March. He has an aggressive plan to try to help alleviate or bring us our low performance out of the schools that we got. But I would encourage you to reach out to him. He's an open minded, he's from Wilson County. His family, his wife actually works on the committee that works with the HBC schools. So she serves in that area as well, so, avail yourselves to him, make a phone call out, reach out to him.
Bill, if he's anything like he used to be, he used to serve on a board of a program that I ran in Wilson for about 5 years. He was a very approachable individual. And if he's still that way, he's gonna be an asset to the county.
There's a program that they're doing over Wilson County now with leadership from young black males.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting that program, he's looking at doing some stuff here with our group. We actually, I shouldn't talk about what he's looking at doing, want to start, but, I'll let him talk about that, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I understand and I heard the conversation, but also for me as a young black, well, I'm 57 now, I take that back, I'm not young anymore. But I'm listening to the conversation and I'm very involved. And when you're talking about people getting employed or hope, and when you are aware of a situation, when you open up school board, anything, and you have people that's been, say, a superintendent before, got a good track record, you reopen the process, or even do it the first time, and you bring someone in that that has never been a superintendent, and you give that person that job. See, stuff like that, I mean, it's okay. People got to start somewhere. But when you're talking about hope and you're talking about people being young and talk about unemployment, you got to look at where I go to school, I do this, I go become a superintendent, and then I'm turned down for a job. I hear what you're saying. And he's doing this and he's doing that with young black males, and that's all well and fine. And he's approachable. But still, you got to look at the overall. Because I got a problem with that, and I'm not in that kind of school. But I speak for everybody. I got family everywhere, friends and enemies. And like I said the other night, even my enemies benefit and have benefited. But I got a serious problem when some things are done, because it kills hope for some folk. It might help some folk, but it killed the hope in the others. And we need to keep that in mind.
So if no other comments, we will adjourn. And then we have some guests here who want to make some comments. So as we normally do, we adjourn our discussion and then we'll allow the feedback. So, motion to adjourn. Okay, all those in favor? So,
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the commission, thank you. I'll be brief. My name is Dan Gerlach. I previously served president of the Golden Leaf Foundation here in Rocky Mount for about 10 years. And then I left to go to ECU, and that didn't quite work out for me. But I am working now on a project called Rocky Mount's Unsung Heroes. And what that is about is a gentleman named Bill Farmer, who is a Rocky Mount native. He was a Time Warner executive and ran the United Way of the Bluegrass. And has come back to Rocky Mount to be close to his mama. And I are working on this request of the chamber and others to help identify young leaders in the community, and there's some discussion about that. People who we might not like you, who are acknowledged leaders, but also other people who might be the unsung heroes. Who do people trust in the community? And you talked about that when you talked about Census 2020, saying, you want the people you know. And so we're trying to identify those people, give them a chance to come together, and also survey citizens on kind of what is top of mind for them throughout the 7 wards. We want to make sure we penetrate every ward in Rocky Mount, not just be it these people or that people, but everybody. And my contact information is at the bottom of it. Now, we've got a group of students from Chapel Hill, seniors who are getting ready to graduate. 6 of them have volunteered to work on this with us, and they're set up a survey online. We're also going to have surveys that are paper surveys, because some people want to fill it out on paper. We're also going to have it translated in Spanish so that people can have access to it, because we want as broad dissemination as possible on this. This is a low budget effort, as you can tell by this paper, but you're going to start seeing stories about it. Like we'll probably put something in Telegram, something here and there, and then Mr. Dancy will help me out with this.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to get the word out. And we're going to have a website for people to go to. And also, especially in the faith community or other communities, if we can come and give presentations and give out surveys to make sure it gets to as many people as possible, that's what we want. We're going to be running this to the now to the end of April. We sent, Mr. Farmer and I sent a notice to, at the request of the Chamber to City Council before their meeting the other evening, earlier in the week, and so that's how we're proceeding. I put my contact information on that, but we're going to have these students, are doing it. One of whom is a young man named Jordan Battle from Rocky Mount, another young lady from down in Stantonsburg. All 6 of them are Rocky Mount natives, where we got 2 of them from, the neighborhood, if you will, who are kind of educating the rest of them about Rocky Mount. And so I'd appreciate any help you can offer. But I wanted to come to the commission and thank you, Madam Chair, for your, Archie, for your indulgence, because we want broad participation, because if we just hear from who we already always hear from, the same people show up time and time again, that's not going to be the kind of community that you all are here to create. Thank you, ma'am. I'm taking a lot of your time. I'm sorry.
Anybody got any questions?
If anyone wants my card or anything, or to have me come to, like, if there's any groups like PTAs or ministers or anything where we, interact with a lot of people, I'd be happy to talk about that too.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wish you all the best. Is there any other business? Are we-
I hate to do this, but I mean, I'm kind of, I can't solve stuff that quick. But now, Mr. Gerler, is this about, this guy becoming the unsung hero? And if it is, will it be more to follow? I mean, can you break it down? I was kind of, it's kind of, I didn't quite catch it.
Okay.
And what
So,
exactly
sure.
going on? I mean, you gotta break it down.
So let me give
for
an
me.
example of what happened in Lexington, Kentucky, in Philadelphia, and Tucson, where they've done this as well. And Mr. Farmer led the effort in Lexington, so he's not here, but I'll speak to it. Is what happened is we're trying to identify people who, when you have an issue in the community, you trust, who are those people?
Okay,
And then we're trying to identify those people. Some of them might be sitting here, all of them might be sitting here in this room, but some of them may not be, I don't know. Like
Okay.
when I worked at Rocky Mount, my director of administration, Ms. Rhea Barnes, that's who, she didn't appear at all the meetings and in front of the cameras, but she was the one who I like, if I need something, that's
Right.
who I go to.
okay,
We want to find the Rhea Barnes of the world,
okay.
of Rocky Mount. And we can find them not only just, out there in Winstead Avenue or over here in Edgecombe County, where we can find them throughout the city. And the idea here is in Lexington, what they did is they brought those people together. And a lot of them didn't know each other, but they started talking about, is it education? Is it, racism? Is it, lack crisis of faith? Whatever it is, and have people start to talk about how to work on it. And how to focus, okay, here are the types of things we can do and feed that back to our policymakers. Now, I've had some questions from council members and the mayor and everybody, is this trying to do our job? We're not trying to do their job. What we're trying to do is give credibility throughout the community so everybody's going on the same oar. I worked here for 10 years, so I know, I know how it is. And we want it to be, and it's a great community. I'm proud to be part of it, and so that's why when they asked me to come back and do it, because they figure you're not doing anything, Dan, right now, I'm happy to do it.
Does this have anything to do with the meeting that was recently held in Lexington, Kentucky, like this past weekend?
Some of the same people were involved, man, but it's different. That's about programs to go and serve the community. This is more kind of 40,000 foot level about getting the people together who can kind of talk on this and work this together.
So it has nothing to do with the transition
It
team?
is,
No, it has nothing to do with anything being part of a transition team or anything?
I don't know. Norris, my friend Norris Tolson called me up, and I've known Norris for 25 years. I find it hard to say no to him, which is why he asked me. But Mr. Farmer, I don't know if he's on a transition team or not. He's here, I'm not.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's broad. I've talked to, Mr. Reverend Joyner, my friend on council and stuff. So.
Reverend Joyner?
Yeah, I talked to him about it. I mean, he's not behind this. The Rocky Mount Chamber asked me to do it, so now it's like, okay.
Did he attend that meeting this weekend?
He did not, ma'am. He had a
Okay.
funeral. And I don't know, I heard about the meeting too, and I know that because people started asking me questions about it, and I was realizing it's two just different things, just in the same place. And Mr. Farmer let them know about that program, which is about how we educate people better, whatever, and their school system does that. This is totally separate.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So it sounds to me like your connectors are your people that you're identifying as. You got connectors throughout wherever.
Yes.
And it sounds like a VOC to me, that you present out to legislature or people that you want to make a difference in their community. And by that, I mean the voice of the customer. You're looking at, you're saying you want to find trusted people that you trust, that they make, their concern is for the city and the people in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And any areas of concern they have a dialogue to talk about those things.
Yeah.
And they're resolved that, from the dialogue, it sounds to me that they will take it to the next level. These are some concerns that we have.
Yes, that's it. What it's about is like, okay, so when I ran Golden Leaf, I got invited to every meeting I wanted to go to because I had $1 billion. People thought, we want to have Dan there at the meeting. But when it came down, if you ask people anonymously, who do you trust to get anything done, I wouldn't appear on any of that. You know, other people would appear on that. And we're trying to find those people. We already got the people who had the positions that I was blessed to have. And I'm not trying to downgrade myself, but I'm just saying, those are people like that. And the way we select them is that the people select them, right? It's not just me, it's asking a different question. It's not who do you want to serve on city council for you, it's who do you trust to get things done?
Right, kind of what we do in the Human Relations Commission. I mean, yeah, kind of what we do here.
That's why I'm here, sir.
Right, that's what I'm saying, that's probably.
But, in my closing, okay, so when you find this unsung hero, they'll go back to the chamber? I mean, you're saying the chamber asked you to,
Yeah, the chamber is the kind of entity sponsoring it, right? I got called, you know, Dan, you're not, you know, come here and can you help us out because you don't have a full-time job and we
Right.
need somebody to keep an eye on it. We don't have, none of us have the time for it. And so the chamber, I think, agreed just to do it as a favor. And so I'm doing it as a favor.
okay, my last question is, so will y'all do this presentation at a chamber meeting or, I just need more clarity and not so much for me,
Yes.
but if I'm gonna help promote something, I need to be able to break it down.
Right, so we're gonna get
that's
you,
what I'm
so
saying.
how about,
Right.
Ms. Jancy can ask us, you can send me an email.
Okay.
I will email you all you want.
Right, got you. Okay, I'll do that.
Not all you want, not all you want.
Oh, yeah,
All
okay, all
those
right, you
people
better be
want.
careful how you say that. No, I got you, I got you. I got
But
you,
I will get that, and then there's some articles on what's happening in Kentucky, and then articles on it, but.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is what the next meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Y'all can come.
All right, thank you.